Yo, what's cracking everyone? Ericship 111 here. So with Forza Horizon 4's car list expanding every month, it's beginning to get harder for cars that can only be obtained through the festival playlist to appear again, as the framework size of the weekly playlist remains the same. That means the cycle rate for these cars to become available again, including the Forzathon shop, will take much longer than it did in the past, making a lot more cars in the game rarer, especially when the Forza Horizon 4 community is ever growing on a day-to-day basis. So with that said, we are all well aware that these festival playlist reward vehicles hold dynamic values, as they can't be bought through the auto show unless Playground Games are kind enough to put some of them up through the Forzathon shop, but are mainly purchased through the auction house, where some cars are so rare at specific times that they can be sold for its maximum buyout price of 20 million credits. This can be a very easy way to make some money, especially if you have some duplicates that you may want to get rid of. But in today's video, I'll be updating you with 12 cars you can currently sell for 20 million credits through the auction house in Forza Horizon 4. Starting off with number 1, the Aston Martin Vulcan AMR Pro. Now I know some on this list have appeared in my previous auction house video, and this AMR Pro is one of them. Only appearing once in the festival playlist, where you could obtain the car by completing 50% of the winter season in update 19. This car right now is very hot. Now in the past, for playlist vehicles, Playground Games would usually wait around 3 months or so before the car is up for grabs again, and since we are reaching the 3rd month very soon, either the Vulcan will be made available again sometime in update 23, which will drastically depreciate the value of the car, or it will most likely remain at 20 million credits. So it's up to you. If you are desperate for some credits, sell the car right now. Number 2, the Bugatti Divo. Here's another car that's appeared in a previous video. Certainly very interesting to see, as in the past you don't normally see cars stay at a maximum buyout price for such a long time. But I suspect, like I mentioned earlier, with so many cars now being introduced in Horizon 4, the odds of these cars appearing to collect again become a lot slimmer, making them retain their value for a longer period of time. With that said, yes, the first time we were able to obtain this car was by completing 50% of the festival playlist during the autumn season in update 15. Then we were able to purchase this car through the Forzathon shop in update 19, but since then the Divo has been in hiatus. However, if you have a duplicate laying around, it's still worth 20 million credits. Number 3, the Ferrari 812 Superfast. This was one of the original rare cars that couldn't be bought through the auto show and was introduced way before the festival playlist was even a thing. Available to purchase only through the Forzathon shop once, sometime during update 1, we haven't seen it made available to unlock since. However, after update 11, Playground Games made this car permanently unlockable without the possibility of any chance, by making it a reward for completing a star card challenge. I don't know why this car is worth 20 million credits, but it seems as though when a car can be unlocked just by completing some slightly difficult challenges, the value of the car becomes very high in the auction house. Number 4, the Ford Supervan 3. Introduced in the same update as the Vulcan AMR Pro, the Supervan did not initially have such a high buyout price. One reason I believe is that this car was a lot easier to obtain, only having to complete a seasonal championship during the winter season in update 19. But given the unique nature of the Supervan 3, the buyout price began to grow, reaching a maximum of 16 million credits for quite a long time. However, with this car again nearly being in hiatus for 3 months since its initial release, players who missed out on this car are beginning to search for it through the auction house. So since my last video on the Supervan 3, the car has now finally reached its maximum buyout price of 20 million credits. But how long will it stay there? Number 5, the Formula Drift Chevrolet Corvette. I believe this was one of, if not the first Formula Drift car to be featured in a festival playlist. Now, in the past, the other Formula Drift vehicles was part of a car pack where you had to purchase with real money. But this and the Ferrari 599, you didn't have to, which is actually very generous of Playground Games to make all these cars available for free. Can you imagine just how much it would have cost to get all of the newly released cars if they were grouped together into car packs? I think many in the community wouldn't be happy at all. But with this Corvette, it was introduced recently in Update 21, where it could be unlocked by completing 50% of the seasonal playlist during summer, and given the unique livery and build of this FD car, I guess it's very popular within the community, currently being worth at 20 million credits. Number 6, the Lamborghini Huracan Performante. Still, after over a month since my last auction house video, this car is still worth 20 million credits. Remember, for the longest time, this was the most highly requested car that the community asked for, and well, we finally got it. Being made available twice since its initial release in Update 18, it was also available to purchase through the Forzathon shop in Update 20. Regardless of how many times this car will be made available to unlock, I feel as though the Performante will always hold a high buyout price. Number 7, the Lexus LFA. Only being made available once to unlock in Update 19, the price of the Lexus LFA has always been pretty high. The last time that we featured this car, it was worth at 12.8 million credits, but now it has grown to its absolute max. But when you compare whether or not the LFA can sustain that maximum buyout price, is questionable. Now, with no signs of the LFA showing up anytime soon again to purchase or obtain, I can see why it's currently worth at its maximum, but the question is anyone willing to sell one? Number 8, the McLaren Speedtail. Once again, like the Performante, the Speedtail has retained its maximum buyout price for well over a month now, which is very impressive. Now, the more I'm thinking as to why these cars have kept their value, is it because at its peak, there's no more Speedtails in circulation, which is why the 20 million credit price has stagnated. Therefore, until there is a new wave of Speedtails up for grabs, then the price will begin to fluctuate. Or is the car just that special and rare that even as of right now, there are still players selling and purchasing the car, keeping its maximum buyout price? I guess only time will tell. Number 9, the Mercedes E63S. Much like the Formula Drift Corvette, this E63S was introduced recently in Update 21, where it could be unlocked by completing 50% of the seasonal playlist during winter. Now, what is noteworthy here is usually recent cars that get released into the game take a while before their value goes up, simply because all players only get one chance to obtain the car, and not many players want to sacrifice all their hard work by selling this rare car in the auction house, particularly in the beginning where it isn't worth much. So for it to now be worth 20 million credits means a lot of players have been selling this car, maybe because it's not that good performance wise, but for me, I love this car, and a huge shout out to those who initially auctioned this car off, now increasing the value to its maximum. Number 10, the Mercury Cougar Eliminator. Yes, you heard correct, this Cougar Eliminator is currently worth 20 million credits in the auction house. Now remember, this car is much like the Ferrari 812 Superfast. It is a progression reward vehicle. It can be unlocked by reaching Tier 24 in the Eliminator through the Horizon Live series, and I guess many players who have unlocked this car just simply don't want to keep it, as it does take up our limited garage space, and those who can't be bothered reaching Tier 24, well, this is somewhat of an easier way to get the Cougar. It'll just cost you a little bit more. Number 11, the 2018 Renault Megane RS. Honestly, I have no idea how this hot hatch has retained its maximum buyout price, as I would have imagined the honeymoon phase of releasing the Renaults would have faded by now, thus dropping its value. Remember, the Megane RS was also part of the same group as the Performante, Speedtail, and Vulcan AMR Pro. However, while those cars are much higher in class performance, this Renault is truly just your everyday sports car that's available. but I guess in the world of Horizon 4, things are a little bit different. I don't want to make any assumptions as to when the price will drop for this car, but it's been nearly half a year now since it was last made available to collect. And lastly, number 12, the Toyota AE86. The car with one of the largest cult followings in the world, a car that transcended into pop culture, and certainly a car that has a great base to build upon it. I know I just questioned the Megane RS for being worth 20 million credits, which almost seems hypocritical because this is a car built in 1985 with only 128 brake horsepower, and at the end of the day, it is just a Toyota. But let's face it, you can't compare the two. The AE86 is a cultural phenomenon, and it's one of those cars that even if you have one in your garage, you probably wouldn't mind buying another one just so you can have a different build of it without having to swap tunes every time. Made available once in Update 18, we haven't seen it floating around since, but I believe as of right now, out of every car on today's list, this is the most wanted right now. So there we have it guys, 12 rare cars that you can currently sell for 20 million credits through the auction house in Forza Horizon 4. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button, that would really help me out. And have I missed out on any other cars that are currently worth at its maximum buy price? Make sure to write it down in the comment section below. Anyways, if you guys would like to see more Forza Horizon 4 content right here on this channel, make sure to click the subscribe button with notifications turned on. That way you won't ever miss out on another video that goes live, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.